Hey everybody, you've reached the Gun Bunny himself, Tez710, for another Let's Play for GameAnyone.com, and today I am playing Stalker Call of Pripyat. It's a third game in the series. It's actually a sequel to Shadow of Chernobyl, because Clear Sky was the prequel of Shadow of Chernobyl, if you understand that. The original blurb did say that Call of Pripyat was the prequel of the prequel, whereas the incidents of the nuclear power plant in Chernobyl only just happened, and the zone's been cordoned off by the military and stuff like that, and helicopters had been sent in to investigate anomalies around the nuclear power plant that had never returned, and you got sent in to investigate. But in the English version, this is a year after, or 2 years after the events of Shadow Chernobyl. Can't remember exactly, but helicopters were sent in to investigate the zone, and yeah, the same again, the helicopters never returned, so you play Agent Alexander, last Russian name I cannot pronounce, to investigate the crash sites disguised as a stalker. Yep, this is version 1.6. It was released 4 months after the Russian version, which was released in November 2009. Between now and then, there are many mods and fixes and tweaks to the game that provided English subtitles and alternate English speaking, stuff like that, but they were very unstable, unreliable, and quite inaccurate with their translations. Fortunately for the English version, we get version 1.602, which is probably the most stable of the three games, Shadow of Chernobyl and Clear Sky. But unfortunately, it's got a massive, unbelievably huge startup bug, wherein the X-ray engine that they use for the quote-unquote photorealistic graphics is quite unstable, and it's more unstable than the previous versions, and every time you want to run the game you have to delete something, I forgot what it's called, TLP or something, a file from the game files you find in the user documents and stuff. So every time I start up, I've got to reconfigure the resolutions, reconfigure the graphics. So unfortunately, during this gameplay, the graphics aren't going to be great, because in order to have them at maximum, I've got to restart the game for the graphics to kick in. But of course, I can't restart the game, because then the X-ray engine stops working, and I've got to delete the file, which then reverts everything back to normal. But fortunately, all my save games do stay, so I'm okay with that. So yeah, this is the title screen. Nothing much. New game, load game, multiplayer options, credits, and exit to Windows. I can't do multiplayer at the minute, because a lot of games that have been downloaded off of Steam are having a problem with the CD keys. And when you try and play multiplayer, it will come up and say, sorry, can't do this because of there's no CD key, even though you've put in a CD key. So that can quite annoying. Options layout, quite standard stuff, video, sound, game stuff, including difficulty, crosshair target distance. I always like to have that on. Crouch stand mode, basically that's toggle. Is basically, so you got to draw crosshair, dynamic crosshair. Remember in my previous Let's Play, I couldn't figure the name of what they called that device, and yeah, I called it a panoramic crosshair when it's actually a dynamic. I had the word on the tip of my tongue, I just couldn't quite get it out. Show interface, auto saving, NPC identification, that's always a handy one, and then your standard controls. What I'm going to do is quickly just sort this out. I can have it on the full dynamic DirectX 10, but unfortunately with that on in Fraps running, it lags out the game to about freaking 5 frames per second, because my system is getting on quite a bit. I mean, I've only got a 9600 GT, at the minute. So yeah, whoops. That's basically the thing. Well, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. The game's just sort of crashed out on me whilst it was trying to sort out the resolution. But yeah, we're back again. We're alright. It's good. We can now get into it. It's got quite a long cutscene. I think it's a couple of minutes long. It'll just take you through the whole history of the game, all the way back from when the nuclear power plant exploded due to some strange device that they encased in a sarcophagus, which everyone who's played Stalker before knows is the Wish Granter, an alien artifact that reads into your mind and, you know, projects an alternate reality around you in where your wishes come true. I mean, I remember in Shadow of Chernobyl, I played through it once. I couldn't be asked playing through again to get all the other endings, but I'd basically got ended the game with over 5,000 Russian currency. I can't remember, they've got rupees, I think they are. And basically walk up to the Wish Granter and go, "I wish to be rich." You know, and you see him and he's got all these coins showering down on him. And then it skips out of that reality to what is reality, and it's actually the bolts falling down from the rafters above, and then shortly after the entire roof collapses on top of your head. I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, so everyone knows the Wish Granter is just projects an alternate reality around you. But what you will find is that down at the subtitles, it's not an exact translation, but it basically does tell the story accurately, but the only thing that's wrong are the dates. It'll say 2010 and the subtitles say 2009. Again, that's a mistake that's made from coming across from the Russian translation, because the Russians had theirs last year, so all the dates are going from that year, where Shadow of Chernobyl was present day, i.e. 2009 for the Russian, or 2010 for us. And then events happen in the future, so it'll say 2011 when it's actually 2012, and so on and so forth. But you'll see it when you get into it. Oh yeah, exceedingly long loading screens. Every Stalker game had these. I mean, I'll go away, I'll make a cup of tea, I'll watch half an hour of Top Gear or something, I'll come back and it'll still be loading or something. But yeah. One thing you didn't get before is 100 zone survival tips. And tip number 56: some medical products have unique properties. For example, Hercules pills allow you to temporarily carry more weight, while psi blocking drugs help you to resist psi emissions. Quite obvious, something they didn't have in the original. Different types of drugs and medical stuff and stuff like that. Okay, another cutscene.